From the whispering sands of the Sahara to the thundering waters of Victoria Falls, this land pulses with memory. It is here, in the cradle of civilization, that the world took its first steps, where ancient empires rose with gold in their veins and wisdom etched into stone. Africa is a continent of rhythm and soul, of ancestral echoes and sacred drums that speak in beats older than time. She's not just a place. She is spirit, resilient, unbreakable. She's the soil that has tasted blood and bloomed courage. Kingdoms have ruled here, their legacies woven into the winds. And though shadows have passed over her hills and plains, she endures, singing her story to those willing to listen. But behind its breathtaking beauty lie ancient whispers of things we were never meant to know. From buried cities to cursed kings, here are 10 chilling African conspiracies that will keep you up at night. The first one is the African Atlantis beneath the Sahara. Deep in Mauritania, a strange formation sits like an ancient eye staring into the heavens. It is called the Richer structure, also known as the Eye of the Sahara. This has baffled geologists and historians for decades. But some say it's not natural. They believe this is the real site of Atlantis. Plato described Atlantis as a circular city with rings of water and land. The Richer structure? It's an almost perfect match. But how could a civilization that advanced be buried under endless desert? Satellite imagery reveals signs of ancient waterways. Fossilized marine life suggests this land was once lush and green. What caused the sudden transformation? Could it have been a global cataclysm? Or was it buried to erase history? No one knows for sure. The second one is the Mandela's 13-day ritual. Nelson Mandela passed on December 5th, 2013. The world watched a grand 13-day mourning period unfold. But to some, this was no ordinary farewell. South African shamans, historians, and even insiders claimed Mandela's body was not just being honored, it was being prepared. Prepare to become a guardian spirit for the new South Africa or something darker. Certain cultural beliefs suggest the soul of a great leader must be tethered to the land through rituals, blood offerings, ancestral invocations. Were these ceremonies a spiritual seal or a national sacrifice? Some claim high-level political decisions were delayed until the last day, waiting for the right to finish. Were leaders consulting more than just advisors? This remains a wild puzzle. Number 3. Curse of the Oyo Empire. The Oyo Empire once ruled West Africa with unmatched might. But its end came not from war, but betrayal. A faction within the royal court poisoned the elephant, the king. With his dying breath, he laid a curse. Today, descendants of those court members speak of strange sicknesses, repeating dreams of the same man. Whispered Yoruba chants with no one else in the room. One survivor described seeing a figure in royal robes at his bedside every night for 7 years, until he finally moved to Europe. Even there, the dreams followed. Locals believe the spirit of the elephant was never laid to rest. His crown was buried with rage, and his vengeance still echoes. It's now being called the kingdom that refuses to die. 4. Idi Amin's River of Blood. Idi Amin, the butcher of Uganda, is remembered for unspeakable violence. But some say his power came from more than just guns. He was said to be possessed by spirits of war. Folklore tells of a river where he performed rituals, drinking blood, offering victims to unknown entities. Locals avoid it to this day, calling it the living water. One fisherman claimed he saw faces below the surface, still moving. A government worker disappeared near the same river in 1992. His body was never found, just his radio, with Amin's voice playing through static. Even in death, Amin's dark power may be alive in the water. 5. The Hidden Books of Timbuktu. Timbuktu was once a beacon, a pulse of ancient intellect that radiated across Africa and beyond. Over 700,000 manuscripts were penned by poets, astronomers, healers, guardians of knowledge. But then they vanished. Why? Some claim the scrolls foretold celestial alignments modern science still struggles to grasp. Others whispered about maps to distant realms, machines lost to time, and incantations outlawed by every known faith. When extremists swept through Timbuktu in 2012, they looted libraries, but only took what was permissible. The rest? Hidden, smuggled by locals into vaults beneath the sand, behind walls no outsider could trace. One elder reportedly muttered, "These pages could end what we know as reality." Was this just myth, stories to protect heritage from invaders? Or had Timbuktu truly housed the blueprint of an African Renaissance, silenced by foreign powers who feared? This has forever remained the book that refused to show us. 6. The Cult of Aso Rock. Aso Rock, Abuja, where suits and silence rule the corridors. But some believe this towering symbol of Nigeria's democracy hides something ancient, something breathing. Whistleblowers speak in whispers, calling it the shadow circle. Hooded figures cloaked in red, practicing rituals older than the Constitution they pretend to honor. They say presidents are ornaments. Decisions? They rise from candlelit chambers beneath the earth. Blood seals the contracts. No comidas, no minutes, just silence and sacrifice. One leaked account describes a ceremony held during an election year. 3 candidates were considered. Only one walked out. When someone talks, they vanish. In 2016, investigative journalist Ngozi Dramola published her final piece. There's something under Aso Rock. I heard it breathing. The next day, her apartment was left unlocked. Her phone on the desk. She was gone. What if governance isn't just policy, but power drawn from rituals we've forgotten? What if every law passed is stamped not by a vote, but a vow? Aso Rock stands still, but beneath it, something stirs. And the deeper you dig, the more the walls seem to listen. 7. The Black Pharaoh that disappeared. The pharaohs of Kush ruled as black kings of Egypt. But one name is missing, intentionally erased. Known only as he who became stone, this ruler vanished from all official records. Scrolls recovered in Sudan suggest he discovered immortality through the breath of Ammonius. The Vatican has copies, but never released them. Why would a mortal king be erased? What did he find? And is he truly gone, or simply hidden? This remains one of the wildest mysteries in Africa. 8. The Rainmakers of Kenya. In Kenya, rain is not random. Elders known as rainmakers speak to the clouds. And they answer. In 1999, when drought devastated parts of Kenya, the government quietly summoned these elders. Rain came within days. Scientists still can't explain it. Is it lost technology, psychic weather control, or ancient pacts with nature spirits? One rainmaker, when asked about the secret, replied, "The sky listens to those who respect it, or fear it. The sky listens." 9. Lake Nyos, the Silent Death. In 1986, over 1,700 people near Lake Nyos in Cameroon died overnight. No wounds, no gunfire, just silence. Scientists say it was a CO2 gas eruption, but some locals say they saw a shadow emerge from the water just before the deaths. They speak of an ancient guardian, bound in the lake, awakened by greed and drilling. Since then, no one swims there. No animals drink there. The air still feels wrong. The lake that breathes death. 10. The African Time Hole. In the Congolese jungle, tribal maps warn of sacred zone. Locals call it Nkisi Ntengu, the place where time folds. Explorers in the 1930s claimed they entered and lost 3 days. One returned with white hair and an ancient object made of unknown metal. The zone disrupts radios, compasses, even memory. What force hides within this anomaly? A time portal? Or a crack in the world itself? Africa holds secrets older than time and darker than myth. Are these just stories? Or the pieces of a truth too terrifying to face? Which one chilled you the most? Comment below and subscribe for other thrilling conspiracies in the history of Africa. See you in my next video.